Oop. Just hasty. Hey boys, so pretty late. About 10:30. Yeah, I'm on laptop. Um, so yeah, just got the seeing who's on in the tennis. I'm just on Channel 9, it's a website. Sweet. Huh. Crowd's pretty loud in that. Yeah, tennis. Yeah, just saw it. Heard the crowd go off. Just on the trial matches for the NRL. Stick bet. Maybe if it was Indigenous All Star match. That's okay. That's a good. That seems like it's alright. 25th of Feb, 6 p.m. Manly Seagulls versus Raiders at Central Coast Stadium. My family will be really into that match. 8 p.m. Okay, yep. So Sunday, the 20th of February, is Eels vs Dragons at Commonwealth Stadium in Parramatta at 6 o'clock. See what tickets they got available for that later on. Oh, that's a good match also. There's a match played before the Dragons Eels. It's Sharks and Cronulla. No, Sharks and Panthers. 4 o'clock. Yeah, I'll check out the tickets, see how much they are. And yeah, but I'm definitely interested in going. And we've got Bulldogs Newcastle. It's at Newcastle on Monday. And then the 5th of Feb, that's Manly Raiders. Roosters West Tigers, 8 p.m. at Central Coast. And then Saturday, we've got the Dragons have it, the Mudgee game on Saturday, February 26th at Mudgee, Glen Willows Stadium. And then 2 p.m. on the same day, Warriors vs Titans, Panthers vs Eels. It'll be at 5 p.m. in Penrith. And then same day, Cowboys vs Broncos at Mackay. And to finish it all off, Melbourne Storm and Newcastle at Wendouree on February 27th, and Monday 28th of Feb, Cronulla Sharks vs Broncos, PointsBet Stadium, February 28th. Yeah, I agree. Mudgee is a traditional game that's been played, and I get where it is, but for some people in Sydney, especially when they don't drive, it's hard to get to Mudgee by public transport within a good time frame. And by that, I mean like no longer than 3 hours, but it takes like 8 hours by bus and public transport. I did nearly go to a Newcastle and Dragons game in Newcastle by train, but then one of my friends cancelled on me, so I couldn't go to it. I think that was like 2019 or something. Yeah, so um, I believe ANZ is called something else now, but that is a stadium where you can like catch the train to Olympic Park and just 2 minute walk to the stadium, very easy. And then obviously like ANZ's got it's very big, it's got all the stuff you need there, food, and a lot of the time like players play there, they're from Sydney, which is even better because Sydney fans can come to that stadium and watch. Another thing too with ANZ is it's it's perfect fit for people who are within that area. They have great access. I know the whole Sydney Olympic Park precinct has a lot of parking available and is fit for all sports of all kinds. What is your favourite ground? My favourite ground, Dragons wise, would be both of their stadiums, would be Kogarah and Wynn. Probably more Wynn, no, probably Kogarah more than Wynn Stadium in Wollongong. And then another stadium I like would be Sydney Cricket Ground and ANZ, or Stadium Australia it's called now. And what else? And I like Parramatta Stadium as well, CommBank Stadium. So yeah, any other questions in the chat? Another good stadium was Allianz before that got knocked down. I think that there's a lot of interest in all different stadiums. Yeah, I've been to the Parramatta one. I can't remember who was playing. It was Dragons and someone. I think Dragons and Eels. I've been there a couple times. Um, with family and by myself, and yeah, not bad. Always a great atmosphere and very new looking. Also, I just want to point out that um, as of today, it was Australia Day. I hope that I can hear some fireworks going off in the background from somewhere, and I want to wish everyone a very best happy Australia Day. I know that some people they're finishing off their Australia Day and they might be sad or upset, but it's okay. Yeah, that's it. Like, yeah, hope it's been a great day, and yeah, as and I just want to comment on there's a lot of protests today in the city that I think were acceptable, but they could have gone a bit too far. That's why, like, the police were there to patrol, and about the whole respect for Aboriginals. Like, I'm all for that. Like, they're just trying to get the message across. And yeah, what do you think about that stick? Like, the whole Aboriginal debate, like how they roam the streets to express their freedom for basically equality of rights. Well, no, but like, what I mean is like the message they're trying to persuade is correct. Like the equality and equality of Aboriginals and respect for the island, respect for the land. It's like it definitely makes sense. Also, I know I was just in Sticks, Australia, but with the Tanazi and Nick Kyrgios thing, I know they're in Melbourne, but I would like to save up some money and go down there when they play there next. So I'd like to save up money and see a bunch of different tennis players play. And so I'll get back to your questions. Do you know Corey Nugget? I've heard of it, but I'm not too familiar with it. I don't know enough about it. So as I was saying, um, the tennis I'd like to visit. I know a few people who have gone to the tennis or have plans on going to the tennis and to see their stars, and it's always good to go two or three times to see some different people or the same person. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, if you the tennis is just an amazing sport, and to see those icons in action is an honour. Exactly. Like, I think another thing too is that they're so inspirational both on the field and off the field and off the court. They're really talented, and despite like their downpours and their struggles, they always they always come out and win those matches, which may surprise some people, may not, but they're doing a damn well good job and they deserve it. They're the kindest humans, the most funniest. Like, you look in the interviews, and basically from all their interviews before and after the game, you can tell they're funny people and they're genuine people. Like, despite like anger issues, of course, like, but that's part of the sport. Like, that's just for the fans, you know. Nick Kyrgios smashing the racket, and yeah, the fans love that, and that's what happened. I also want to meet Rafael Nadal, Naomi, Naomi Osaka, and Ash Barty, and a few others. So we'll see what happens with that. Maybe I'll win the lottery or something. And then I head down there with a bunch of mates. And then we see like Tanasi and Kokonagis. Actually, not. now that I thought of it, another thing to do with the tennis is that um, the Uber Eats ads have gotten even funnier with the tennis players in them. I really like the food ads that they put on. I think they're well created to have certain stars come up against and talk to former and professional tennis players. Do you hear what the tennis guy said? Uh, no, actually, I don't know. I know that was somewhere. I did hear that from somewhere, but I think that's a very childish comment because Nick obviously is a man that takes comment to heart, and I'm sure when he looks at that, or sorry, when he hears of that, he'll know that that person is directing that at him, and that comment is a bit too childish and a bit out of league for my liking. After all that Nick Kyrgios does with the sport, like I remember that he, I don't know if that comment means he's referring to someone, but uh, but like Nick's like a genuine tennis player, and I think back to the moment last match where he hit the ball and then it hit some kid in the stomach, and then he literally came over to the kid, said cheer up, and gave him a tennis racket. Like I don't see much tennis players doing that. Like there's great tennis players out there, but heroic acts like that to go out of their way, they don't deserve comments like what you just said, Stick. Like the childish comment of, yeah, year-old person. When clearly, like, they're just taking the piss. They're trying to get a reaction out of him. They're trying to, like, sabotage him and make him mad, expecting a comment back. That's it. Like I said, the kind gesture with the kid when he hit him with the ball accidentally, gave him a racket, tried to cheer him up. That's all right. And when we're watching tennis, we just see him get angry. But really, it's okay. And I think too that Nick's such a humble person that he's like the others, but he does some things others don't. Like other professional players that we watch on TV now for tennis, he doesn't do some of the stuff they do, but he does it better. Like and he improves it better. And I think too, because I follow Nick on like Instagram and I follow Kokonakis on Instagram, you can see they're both passionate players about the sport and they make sure they do what they can, not cheating wise, but like, you know what I mean? Like they do their best to win the game, and when they win, their fans are backing them because their fans love them. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Like, and 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 like the childish comment that you said that Venice guy said, like, where's that coming from? Like, what's happened to him to to make that comment towards Nick? Like, just out of nowhere. Like, that comment might have been targeted about something to do with Nick, or it might not have. We don't know. But that comment is a comment that should have been made and won't be made in in the future. Also, what I mean is that comment might be made, but it's best that they keep it to themselves rather than express it because they might get in trouble or the tennis players might take it the wrong way. like Tanazi and Kokinaga, so they're playing again tomorrow. Is that what you mean, Steve? Yeah, Rod Laver Arena, but who's playing? Kokinakas and Nick. Oh yeah, true. And Ash is playing that former player. Oh, what's her name? Yeah, that's gonna be good. 2:30. So you know what I think? I think what I'll do is stick. I'm gonna go for another 8 minutes, about 8 minutes, and then tomorrow we'll start up a stream and we'll go maybe around 12. Around 12 we'll start up a stream, or earlier. I'll let you know, and then we'll just talk about different stuff. Because I have a thumbnail planned somewhere saved on my computer that I can put, and then we'll start up another stream. How's that sound? Tomorrow we'll start up another stream, a just chatting stream. Yeah, I want to talk about, just real quick, the casualty ward for NRL. I see a lot of players. Yeah, I see a lot of players they get injured real easily, which is nothing wrong with the sport. It happens all the time, and it's sad because sometimes it happens to the very best players and affects the team, and then sometimes it happens to players that don't matter at all, or they don't matter, but they could be there to help the team out more. Because a lot of people, when they get injured, it's either serious or not serious, and if they don't get injured, then they have a chance to play their heart out for the whole season uninjured and with no problems, and then the results show. And then at the end of the year, their body is that sore. But then they got to remember that even though their body's sore, they're not injured. And I think those that are injured, that put their body on the line for the whole year, it's like they're already in more pain than the ones that didn't get injured. And I know it might sound pretty obvious, but I'm talking about this because there's going to be a lot more injuries, or there might be a lot less injuries, but the game will never change. And the medical work that I want to thank all the medical teams and hospital people and whatever that work with the NRL to do their very best to ensure that the players are fit and the players are well, and that they do choose the right decision for those players that get injured to be safe on the field always. So if they see an injury that they think, oh yeah, it's not as serious, but it might affect them on the field and then get worse, take them off, send them off for a certain amount of time, and then put them back on. And if they have to, send them for a long period of time. If their injury is affecting them, send them off longer term. Yeah, but like, I'm talking about players that get injured, not players who make injuries. Like, because I think that, Joseph, you look at Joseph, that Latrell and Joseph, and the tackle was bad, But then again, like, how long was Joseph in hospital for? And like, you got to think he could have been out for a long time, but it was already the end of the season. Like, so that's why he just had the time off. And that's the thing. Sometimes it's the coach's decision, and then sometimes it's not the coach's decision to have that player off. Because at the end of the sometimes if you're in the start of a season, that doesn't matter. Whether you're the middle of the season, it doesn't matter. But when it comes to the end of the season, some coaches are deciding to keep their players on injured, and some are deciding to not keep their players on injured. And that's all on the basis of their decision. It's not always the medical decision of the doctors and the health people. It's the decision of the coach. And then in other circumstances, which they do get right and do get wrong sometimes, it's the medical as well. And then they say 6 weeks off. Whether the coach agrees to that or not, doesn't matter. They have to go by the medical advice, because the medical advice, staff and doctors, will always be right, no matter what, because they know the injury, whether it's a cork to the leg, busted shoulder, fractured hip bone, cheekbone, whatever it may be. The injury, you have to know the severity of the injury and how serious it can get if they continue on playing in the same position. Whether that's the heck, no matter what injury it is. Well, that's the thing. Like, he was at the end of the season. He was injured. He's not going to have any more time off. He might as well. That's what they're saying. The medical doctors and the coaches should have just said, let's not have him on for the rest of the season. But it was the end of the season, and whether he was too injured to play the last games, that's up to the medical team. It's not up to a coach or anyone else. It's up to a medical team. The professionals who know these injuries at their best and their spike. You definitely coach. Yeah, I'm going to stream tomorrow just because I will have time. I don't know how much longer I'm in lockdown, but I'm going to go out anyway. Like, I might go out on Friday or Saturday anyway. Because Saturday is when it ends. And back to the injury thing, like, and I'm going to make this real quick. A lot of casualty wards and injuries can happen by mistakes, simple mistakes or big mistakes, when the players play to their potential, but then something goes wrong, their ankle snaps, or something badly happens to them, and then they feel the effect on themselves to the team, because they're like, oh shit, I mean a lot to this team, and I've just had this injury. How long am I going to be out for? And even if I'm out for a short period of time, how much it's going to have an impact on what I do from now on, because the players will always listen to the advice, and they will always do their best to stay injury free, even though it's a heavy contact sport. Don't get me wrong, it's a heavy contact sport, and collisions are at their peak at the moment, especially, and the encouragement of fans want to see this in action, want to see this happen, but look, man, and I'm gonna say this to all the fans out there: you're watching rugby league. You're not watching soccer, basketball, or any other sport that has this contact. And sometimes they do things to push themselves to get injured. Like, they don't want to get injured, but they push themselves, and not thinking they'll get injured. And then they do get injured, but then and they don't push themselves and they don't get injured. Works both ways, I think. Like you look at what's his name? Adam Reynolds, the kicker for Bunnies. Now he was playing really good, and I don't think was he was playing really good, and I don't think he was wanted to get injured. Yeah. Some get injured by other players, but like in this talk that I'm talking about, is like Adam Reynolds didn't expect to get injured, but he wanted to play better, and then all of a sudden he played better, and then he got injuries. Like I can name, I'll name 5 players at the moment who did the exact same thing, and then they got injured. Gareth Wood back in the day, Ben Hunt, he stepped up his game, thinking he wouldn't get injured, then he got injured. What's that guy's name? Matt Moylan. He did his shoulder several times because he started playing better, and then he got injured. The next player is um, Latrell Mitchell. He wanted to play better, and then he got injured. Same with Cherry Evans and Josh Suter for Manly. They both played to the potentials, not thinking they'd get injuries, and then they got injuries. Who else? Storm. Coming over to Storm. Felice Kafusi, Jerome Hughes, and what's that guy's name? Brandon Smith. They all played to their potential. They all stepped it up another level to the way they normally play to play better. And then look at the injuries they got. Look at what Felice Kafusi, Brandon Smith, and Jerome Hughes, the injuries they got. Same with many Bulldogs players and Roosters players also. Lachlan Lamb, Stitili Tupanua. What was that guy's good name? Sam Walker. That's right, Sam Walker. And Jared Roy-Hargreaves. He also did. The Dolphins. Yeah. I don't hate the Dolphins, but I think they're going to steal a lot of players from teams, I reckon. And yeah, back on the injury thing. Like, I could make a list now. I'm not going to go on because I only said some teams. I haven't said the others. But actually, you know what? I'm going to cap this stream off with 2 more teams that had players with injuries that they expected to be better, and they played better. They definitely did, but then they got injuries. Sebastian Kris, Charles Nickel-Clockstaff, what's that guy's name? Josh Hodgkinson, the Titans. They had Ash Taylor played better, and then he had problems. Kevin Proctor, David Fafita, they all had injuries. Albert Kelly, and then I hope they don't steal the Dragons players either. And then Broncos, Alex Glenn, Herbie Farmworth, and Brody Croft. They all played better and then got injured. And I think I've done most things. Oh yeah, Tigers. Luke Brooks, he played better and then got injured. And David Norfoluma. Trying to think who was from the Tigers. Joe Ofawengawi, he played better and then he got injured. And also Luciano Leilua. Alex retired. Who's Alex? Oh, Alex McKinnon. Is that who you meant? He was an iconic player. I loved him. Yeah, but stick Alex who? Oh yeah. Also for Eels, Alex Glenn, the Broncos guy. Well, when he played, he got some injuries from his experience. Him building on his experiences in the Eels, and don't and you won't get me wrong on this, but they played to their potential and they improved their game of football, and then they got injured. Clint Gutherson, Micah Seaver, what's that guy's name? Actually, no. To help me with this, Eels, I'm gonna get up the Eels team list. Yeah. So Rudy Marnie, Micah Seaver, Isaiah Papali'i, Sean Lane, Ty Kukakamika, and one more, and Ryan Madison. They all played well and tried to gain on their experience for their team, and then they got injured. Alright guys, the time is currently 11:07. I hope you guys have all learnt something tonight. I know I have, because casuals in games now are getting beyond serious. They're getting crazy, and players, if you're gonna get better, try not to get injured. I know it's hard sometimes and shit happens, but yeah, there's nothing much you can do, really. Just play the sport the best you can. Injuries will come, injuries will go, but there's one main thing, and that's looking out for yourself and for your teammates in your team. I'll let you know, Stick. I'll let you know. I want to do another show soon, so if it's tomorrow, it'll be early tomorrow. So like once I wake up, I'll hop on the stream. But I'll send you a message on Instagram. Alright, folks. For how long? For about the same time as this stream, maybe longer. Maybe an hour 20. So yeah, I'm wishing the best to the NRL players, and hoping they all improve and they all do better than they already are. Because, reminder to all the NRL players, you could get injured, whether it's your hip bone, whether it's your head, shoulders, whatever body part, you will get injuries. It could be serious to you, or it could be minor, not as serious, not as bad, but it'll happen. Will you set the stream? Yeah, I might as well just keep the stream up on the channel. So, thank you guys all for coming in. I really appreciate it. I'll try and be live again soon. I'm just gonna listen to some music and head to bed. And thanks all for coming out. Thanks, Stickbait. Good night, Stick. And good night, everyone else. Happy Australia. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.